Atlantic Broadband Cable, in cooperation with the South Union Township Supervisors, presents the South Union Township Sports Network. Today, via tape delay from West Mifflin High School, the Laurel Highlands Mustangs take on the Mars Planets in a WPIAL 5A quarterfinal round playoff game. Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Morozak with Tony Hanola and Jerry Dupay. We welcome you aboard for today's WPIAL High School Baseball Playoff game. South Union Township Sports Network coverage is brought to you as a joint cooperative venture featuring Township Supervisors Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott, Atlantic Broadband Cable, Armstrong Cable, and our friends at CUTV, including Gary Smith. Again, I'm Brian Morozak with Tony Hanola and Jerry Dupay, and we'll be back with the lineups for both teams after these messages.
Good luck to the Mustangs from the South Union Township Supervisors, Rick Vernon, Jason Scott, and Robert Schiffbauer.
Back here at West Mifflin High School, Mars to bat in the top half of the first inning. Here's Tony with our lineup.
All right. For Mars, leading off is going to be center fielder Rowan Fletcher, Jr. Batting second, John Weatherholt, the shortstop. He's a freshman. Batting third will be starting pitcher Frank Kraska. Batting cleanup will be senior catcher Jack Anderson. Batting fifth will be Tyler Kowalkowski, the third baseman, junior. Batting sixth will be Anthony Mikowski, a second baseman, and he's a senior. Batting seventh, senior Evan Homison. He's a first baseman. Batting eighth will be D.H. Mitchell Schultz. He's a freshman, and he'll be batting for the left fielder Matt Pasquinelli. And batting ninth will be junior Matt Fuller, and he'll be in right field.
Defensively for Laurel Highlands, identical lineup as they had in their first-round game against Fox Chapel at Hempfield last Tuesday. They'll have Evan Voighton out in left, Tanner Minio in center, Ian Edenfield in right, around the horn, Nate Simkoski at third, Travis Sankovic at short, Josh Burns at second, and Mason McManus playing first. Catching is Chad Petrus, and on the mound, sophomore lefty Dino Vecchiola. Dino, a 5-1 overall record. This will be his 8th start of the season. He's worked 36 and a third innings, given up 31 hits, has struck out 23, walked 4, given up 16 runs, and 13 of them earned with an ERA of 2.50. But, Tony, outside of games at Hempfield, his ERA is below 1.
Right, and it's kind of funny, too, because I was talking to a couple of players over the weekend, and they were saying that he did not like the mound at Hempfield that much. And you know, you get that in your head, especially as a sophomore without a whole lot of experience, and that can work on you, too, and I think that's why he struggled. So I would expect a pretty good effort here today from Dino Vecchiola.
And, again, if you're just joining us, Mars will not have Will Bednar, the Ohio State recruit who was scheduled to pitch today in the lineup. Frank Kraska will be on the mound for the Mars Planets. How does that change things from Laurel Highlands' perspective, Tony?
Well, it's going to change huge because I know even so during practice and trying to get prepared for this game, they actually brought in a couple former players. I know they brought in Luke Paul and a couple guys from Fairmont to throw from 40 feet so that these guys can get used to the speed because Bednar was clocked at 95. And they were trying to adjust to his speed coming into this game. So this is going to really make a difference for the Mustangs, even in their preparation and their game plans for today.
And Frank Kraska, of course, a pretty good pitcher. He's going to Lafayette next year. His numbers, though, not that's great on the season.
Not extremely good, but and as we mentioned, too, I'm sure he does not throw as hard as Bednar does, but he's coming in, and he's been a reliable pitcher for them as well, so he's going to give them a pretty good effort. And I just think that Laurel Highlands is going to have to adjust, but really it's going to be what they've seen all year long.
And Krasko 1-3 record, 4.30 ERA. This will be his 7th start of the season. He's worked 29 in a third innings, given up 30 hits, 20 runs, 18 of them earned, struck out 39 and walked 14. So still a pretty good strikeout to walks ratio.
Pretty good strikeout to walks ratio, but it's an extremely different atmosphere considering what Bednar did, pitching 45 innings and only walking 8 guys throughout his whole year and having 92 strikeouts in those 45 innings. So it's going to be a big difference. Obviously, Krask is only averaging a strikeout an inning, whereas you had Bednar averaging 2. So a little bit difference here, and it'll be interesting to see how Mars adjusts as well.
You mentioned Frank's brother Joe's a sophomore on this Mars team. He's already committed to Virginia Tech, yet he's not in the lineup today.
Right, and we were talking during the break. I'm sure that he's a pitcher as well, and he's probably throwing darts as a sophomore. So it'll be kind of interesting to see. We were kind of surprised he wasn't in the lineup, but actually going to Virginia Tech, I mean, that's pretty commendable, signing up as a sophomore already.
Well, it's certainly an option, though, for them coming out of the bullpen today when the pitching might be a little bit short with Bednar not available today. So we'll see how things pan out throughout the course of the afternoon. Our friends at the Trib Live High School Sports Network, proud partners with Excella Health. Excella Health knows how important shoulders, knees, and ankles are to an athlete. Whether you're on the gridiron, under the boards, or walking on the balance beam, being on the sidelines is never an option. Excella Health has a trusted team of orthopedic surgeons and athletic trainers in Westmoreland County. To learn more about Excella Health, orthopedics, and sports medicine, you can visit excellahealth.org. That's excellahealth.org. And as we mentioned earlier, Tony, this is an all AstroTurf, sport turf field, so you should have some pretty true hops here today.
Well, I would think some true hops, and we were talking too, without having any lightning or anything like that, you should be able to play on this field without a problem. You're going to have true hops. We both of these teams are pretty good defensively, so this field actually helps both teams out.
And both teams actually wear their home uniforms today. Laurel Highlands, the home whites, red numbers, a little bit of blue trim, and Mars, their home whites with dark blue numbers and a little bit of gold trim in there as well. We'll take a quick timeout. We're back with the first pitch, Laurel Highlands and Mars, here on WMBS, the South Union Township Sports Network, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Dugout in between the baseball and the softball.
Back here at West Mifflin High School, Dino Vecchiola finishing up his last couple of warm-up tosses, and we'll get this 5A quarterfinal round game underway. Again, Mars coming off a 2-1 win in the opening round over Trinity. Laurel Highlands a come from behind 6-5 win over Fox Chapel. The winner of this game will take on either Moon or Hampton. Those two teams actually playing at North Allegheny tonight at 7 p.m. The semifinal round game will be back at North Allegheny tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. And, of course, with the Mustangs advance, we'll have the game for you here on the radio side on WMBS. The other side of the bracket, West Allegheny taking on Char Valley tonight at Upper St. Clair. North Hills and Franklin Regional playing at 4 o'clock this afternoon at Shaler High School. The second semifinal round game will also be played at North Allegheny High School tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Tony, what do you expect to see here today?
I expect to see a good game, Brian. I think Vecchiola is going to do a nice job for the Mustangs, and they're going to need to get the bats going today. They're a very much more offensive team than Mars is. We looked at the stats from Mars, and they only have 4 men in today's lineup that are batting just barely over 300, where you have a lot of Mustangs who are averaging, hitting 400, 450, 470. So it's going to be interesting to see how Mars controls this Mustang offense.
Mentioned Dino Vecchiola got a no decision last time out in the first round of the playoffs, going 3 innings, giving up 5 runs against Fox Chapel. 5-1 overall record, 2.50 ERA, but we mentioned his ERA below 1 for games that are played outside of Hempfield High School. Rowan Fletcher to lead things off here for the Mars Planis, the junior center fielder, batting .282 with 2 RBIs.
Right, and as we mentioned, there's only one person that's even close to double digits in RBIs for Mars, and that would be the starting pitcher, Kraska.
Here's Vecchiola set to go. The lefty will wind and fire the first pitch to Fletcher. And the pitch is in there for a strike, quickly 0-1.
Now, and this is a good scenario, too, for Vecchiola. He's pretty much a ground ball pitcher. And as we mentioned, you're going to get a lot of true hops here off of this infield.
He really has been efficient throughout the course of the season, especially for a freshman, as that one is fouled off by Rowan Fletcher. And quickly, Vecchiola ahead, 0-2. This top half of the first inning being brought to you by Senior Life Uniontown. Brian Morozak alongside Tony Hanola, Bill Madden back at our Uniontown Hospital studios, and Jerry Dupay on the camera on the South Union Township Sports Network. And Fletcher swings at the 0-2, and it's a fair ball down the third base line. Evan Voighton with a quick relay in and a leadoff single for Rowan Fletcher on the Mars Planets.
Yeah, no sooner we say Mars has no offense, Fletcher's able to fist the ball down the left field line and get it to stay fair. Draw leadoff single for the Mars Planets.
Yeah, certainly well placed. And now John Weatherholt, the Mars freshman shortstop, will come to the plate. Weatherholt batting just .233, lefty with 4 RBIs. And now working from the stretch is Vecchiola. First pitch, a breaking ball in there for a strike to Weatherholt.
It was Weatherholt there. Weatherholt I think he was looking for a fastball and kind of buckled his knees a little bit and had him backing out.
And Vecchiola, not a power pitcher, but certainly a good finesse pitcher for the Mustangs. Now he'll check first and a head-first slide back safely there from Fletcher. And we saw a couple of pickoffs during the first round of Laurel Highlands come from behind 6-5 win over Fox Chapel at Hempfield last Tuesday.
Well, Vecchiola has a nice move, though, for a lefty. And when we saw, actually, Greg Lancaster pick off 2 guys at Hempfield last week. But Vecchiola has a stellar move and not a very big lead right now for Fletcher at first.
Now the 0-1, another breaking ball, and that pitch just misses on the inside to even things up at 1-1. We're situated right behind home plate today.
An extremely nice facility here.
305 down the left field line, 345 to the alley and left, and there's a fastball hit into center field, backing up Tan Erminio, and Tan will make the grab for the first out of the inning.
Now Weatherholt hit that ball a long way. Nathaniel back probably only had about 10 feet straight away center field to the fence.
It's 370 to straightaway center, 345 to the alley and right, and 320 down the right field line as Frank Kraska, the senior pitcher for the Mars Planets, will step in. And Kraska, some pretty good numbers on the season, a .360 average and 8 RBIs.
And a little bit surprised at Fletcher. I think he kind of knew Erminio was going to get to that. But I thought he might have tagged up and tried to make it to second base. I think Mars is going to have to manufacture some runs here today, Brian. They did that in their first game against Trinity, only scoring 2 runs, and they were both scored on singles after a couple stolen bases. So I think we're going to see Mars trying to manufacture some things here today.
Kraska fouled off the first pitch from Vecchiola on the right side. Now Dino's 0-1, another one sent foul on the right, and quickly Kraska behind 0-2. And I was a bit surprised to see how close Mars' first-round playoff game was against Trinity. The Hillers came into that game with only 5 wins all season, and 4 came against former Pittsburgh City League teams.
Right, but Trinity got some good pitching, and they hung in pretty well against Bednar.
Now the 0-2, and that one is in there for a strike. Do they say that Kraska went there, Tone, or is that pitch just in the zone?
They're going to give him a strike on the swing.
Okay.
He didn't check it in time. Yeah, coach is going to ask about it, but that was definitely a swing. He looked at him and gave him the swing signal, so that's the first strikeout today for Vecchiola.
Catcher number 9, Jack Anderson.
Now Jack Anderson will step in. Anderson, the senior, entering this game with a .359 average and 3 RBIs. First pitch here from Vecchiola. Misses low, hopped away from Chad Petrus, and that will allow Rowan Fletcher to get down to second base.
Yeah, Petrus just had a little trouble blocking that ball and just couldn't keep it in front of him. Didn't get very far behind him, Brian, only actually where the umpire was, but nice move by Fletcher to get to second base.
Vecchiola's strikeout of Kraska was his 24th strikeout of the season. It's only 4 walks. But now Fletcher in scoring position with Jack Anderson at the plate. The 1-0 from Vecchiola to Anderson. Ground ball snared there by Nate Zimkoski. Long throw over to first and dug out of the ground by Mason McManus. So it goes 5-3 on the putout to end the top half of the first inning. So Mars picks up a hit from Roland Fletcher, but unable to manufacture a run. And it's a scoreless game as we head to the bottom half of the first inning here on the Radcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day. Back here at West Mifflin High School, Mars and Laurel Highlands scoreless heading to the bottom of the first inning. Here's Tony with the Mustang batting lineup.
All right, leading off for the Mustangs, senior center fielder Nathaniel Arminio. Batting second, senior second baseman Josh Burns. Batting third, shortstop Travis Sankovic. Batting cleanup, first baseman Mason McManus. Batting fifth, right fielder Ian Edenfield. Batting sixth, catcher Chad Petrus. Batting seventh, third baseman sophomore Nate Zimkowski. Batting eighth, left field Evan Voighton. And batting ninth and DHing for the Mustangs, senior Richie Mihal batting in place of starter Andino Vecchiola.
Defensively for the Mars Planets, they'll have Max Pasquinelli out in the left field. Rowan Fletcher's the center fielder. Matt Fuller in right. Around the horn, it's Tyler Kowalkowski at third. John Weatherholt playing short. Anthony Michalski is the second baseman, and Evan Homison is the first baseman. Jack Anderson catching, and Frank Kraska on the mound. Again, the seventh start of the season for Kraska has a 1-3 record, ERA of 4.30 and 29 at third innings. He's given up 30 hits, 20 runs, 18 of them earned, struck out 39 and walked 14. Now Tanner Arminio will lead things off for the Laurel Highlands Mustangs. Tan, a 6', 165 senior, batting .358 with 22 RBIs. Again, playing center field here today. And Kraska set to go. First pitch to Arminio, a fastball swing and a miss from Tan. Quickly 0-1.
Yeah, Nathaniel, I talked to his dad over the weekend. If they were going to see Bednar, I think he might have thought about laying down the first pitch just to kind of get in his head.
Now the 0-1, another fastball, and that one misses on. No, actually is ruled a strike on the outside corner. A little delayed signal there from the home plate umpire. Quickly Tan behind, 0-2.
Yeah, I want to go back to the last play in the last inning here right after this pitch.
0-2 on the way. Fastball, that one certainly outside, counting out 1-2.
We saw a nice play by Zimkowski, and he had a time to get to his knees, make the play, and then get up. With this turf infield, the ball gets to you pretty quick.
Now the 1-2 on the way, and Tana chopper. A nice snare there from Kowalkowski down at third. Long throw over to first. It's high, and they're going to say Arminio's out. I don't know about that.
I would not agree with that. I think he got the benefit of the doubt there. But, again, nice play there by Kowalkowski. But I actually thought Arminio beat it, but he got called out. In my opinion, doesn't mean a thing.
Here, folks, on the TV side, let's have another look, and you can decide for yourself. And Mike Smith, Laurel Highlands Assistant Athletic Director and Assistant Coach, a little word there to the first base umpire as Josh Burns swings and misses at the first pitch there from Kraska.
And that would have been huge for the Mustangs to get their leadoff batter on.
Now the 0-1, a little breaking ball. Missing there to Burns, evens things up at 1-1.
And Kraska took a header after that pitch. Brian.
He did.
He was trying to follow through, and I don't know if he just tripped on a mound or got stuck in a little hole there.
Kraska working quickly. 1-1, misses outside. Now 2-1 to Josh Burns, the 5'9", 165 senior. Came into this game with a .258 average and 18 RBIs. Burns playing second base and headed to Cal U next year. 2-1 on the way. Fastball, and Burns going opposite field right for a one-out single here for the Mustangs in the bottom half of the first inning.
Yeah, that was a nice job by Burns. High outside pitch, and he was able to just take that in, and it was a one-hopper. It got through the infield pretty quick. So Josh now with runner on base now for the Mustangs, coming with their best hitter, Travis Sankovic, coming to the plate.
I think for the first time all season, Sank's average has dropped below 500 right now at 492. He's a 5'11", 170 senior with 3 homers and 17 RBIs. They check Burns over at first, and Josh back safely. Playing shortstop here today, going to Florida Southwestern College next year, NAIA program. Now Kraska set, first pitch to Sank, and Sank swings to the first pitch and rips it into right field. Burns will hold up at second. The Mustangs will have runners on first and second with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning.
Well, and as we said, they were looking for the heat, and they're ready to go here today. And that we've seen both of the hits, Brian, shot through the right side of the infield, just one hoppers, and are out to the outfield pretty quick. So everything's going to happen here fast. The Mustangs just going to be able to go station to station on that last hit.
Now Mason McManus at the plate. Mason, a 6'3", 200-pound senior, batting .456 with a homer and 27 RBIs so far this season. Playing first base today. He swings at the first pitch. Ground ball, and a good job there from the shortstop Weatherholt. Steps on the bag at second for the fielder's choice. Threw it over to first, not in time. So McManus safe at first, and a little bobble there from Weatherholt, I think, allowed McManus to reach first safely.
And it did. And Weatherholt made a nice play on that. That ball was hit pretty good there by McManus. He made a nice play, just couldn't handle it, but was able to get the out at second base.
Now runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning, which is being brought to you by NovaCare Rehabilitation, Delaware Avenue in Uniontown. Another check of the runner, and back safely that time, McManus. And certainly with the Sport Turf surface here, you might see a lot of double play balls this afternoon.
I think a lot of double play balls and a lot of hard hit balls making it through the infield altogether.
Kraska's first pitch to Edenfield, in there for a strike, 0-1. Ian, a 6'4", 230 senior, batting .361 with a homer and 17 RBIs, playing right field here this afternoon.
And he's been swinging a good bat for the Mustangs. 2 for 4 the other day at the Hempfield against Fox Chapel.
A little step off and a throw back to first, and picked off at first was McManus. That was close to a balk, Tony.
Yeah, I didn't. I'll tell you what, he got away with one there.
He initially stepped towards third before throwing back to first.
After 1 inning of play.
And McManus picked off to end the inning, and we're scoreless heading into the top of the second here on the Radcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day.
On the top of the second.
Tyler Kowalkowski, Anthony Michalski, and Evan Homison due up for the Mars Planets here in the top half of the second inning. Mars and Laurel Highlands scoreless. Dino Vecchiola on the mound for the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, just giving up that leadoff hit to Rowan Fletcher in the top half of the first inning, and finds the strike zone on his first pitch to Kowalkowski here in the top of the second.
Vecchiola's been able to spot his pitches pretty good here today so far, Brian. Working in and out, up and down. Doing a nice job.
He'll wind and fire the 0-1, a breaking ball, and that one catches the corner again for a strike, quickly 0-2. Brian Marozak alongside Tony Hanola, Jerry Dupay on the South Union Township Sports Network, and Bill Madden back at our Uniontown Hospital studios on the WMBS radio side. Also being heard on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. As Vecchiola misses inside on the 0-2, and now checking up a little bit, choking up, Kowalkowski sends the 1-2 right up the middle into center field for a leadoff hit here in the top half of the second inning.
Yeah, and unfortunately on that play, Vecchiola's a lefty. If he'd have been a righty, I think it would have been hit right to him. He was just falling off the mound after finishing the pitch. Right-hander probably would have maybe got hit in the chest with that ball. But nice job by Kowalkowski protecting the plate with a 1-2 count.
And Kowalkowski came into the game with a .316 average and 7 RBIs, and comes through with a big hit here for the Mars Planets to start the top half of the second inning. And now Anthony Michalski will come to the plate. Michalski batting .286 with 8 RBIs, a Mars senior second baseman.
And looking down at the third base coach, you wondering he's going through a series of signals. You got to wonder if he's thinking about laying down a bunt here.
Yeah, we expected this game possibly to be a low-scoring contest today. A little check of the runner over at first, and a head-first slide back there from Kowalkowski. Of course, we thought it might be low-scoring when Will Bednar was expected to be the Mars starting pitcher. Again, if you're just joining us, the Ohio State recruit ill today. Not in the lineup for the Mars Planets. Laurel Highlands certainly catching a break there. Frank Kraska, though a talented pitcher, getting a scholarship to Lafayette for next year. But his numbers certainly not up to par with the numbers of Will Bednar. On the first pitch here to Anthony Michalski, and Michalski chasing that one a little bit behind 0-1.
And not showing any signs of bunt either, so hitting away. And Kowalkowski with a pretty good lead at first. Vecchiola was close on the first attempt to pick him off. I actually thought he might have been out then.
Now the 0-1 fastball sent right back at Vecchiola, kind of ducked out of the way of it, and the ball into center field. So back-to-back hits here for the Mars Planets to start this top half of the second inning.
Yeah, he was lucky to get out of the way of that. That almost decapitated him. Ball was hit good by Michalski. Now all of a sudden, Mars with 2 runners on and nobody out. And now you have your first baseman coming up, Homison. He's only batting .174 on the year, so I really wouldn't be surprised to see him try to lay down a bunt here.
And the stop of the second may be brought to you by Peachin's Pharmacy, located inside the Peachin Superfood Mart.
Batting for the Fighting Planets, first baseman, number 18.
And Homison looking down towards third base. Third base being coached by Mars' head coach, Andy Bednar. Of course, Andy Will's dad. We'll see if we get a little small ball here out of Homison to the Planets. And yes, squaring around to bunt and send foul there from Homison.
He kind of lunged at that. It's going to be pretty difficult to try to get a base hit out of a bunt here on this turf, because you know the ball's not going to deaden like it would in grass.
Certainly if you can advance the runners, though, and put two in scoring position with one out here in the top of the second inning, Mars an opportunity to bring somebody home. And there's a nice breaking ball there from Vecchiola. Not showing bunt that time was Homison, and quickly Evan behind 0-2.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising. He didn't show bunt there. And I'm like you, and looking at the numbers and everything, I just thought Mars would play small ball today.
0-2, another breaking ball, and it's in there for strike three. So backwards K, second strikeout of the game for Dino Vecchiola, and a much-needed out for Laurel Highlands defensively.
Yeah, and Vecchiola working that outside corner well. Home plate umpire giving a little bit of plate. Vecchiola's taking advantage of it.
Now you have the freshman D.H. Mitchell Schultz coming to the plate, swinging at the first pitch and sending it high into left field. Evan Voigt backing up, and the ball's going to carry and go over the wall for a home run.
Wow.
Mitchell Schultz, who came into this game 0 for 8 for the season. Mars, the stats we had, Tony, off of Max Prep, show the Planets without a home run all season. And Schultz comes to the plate and hits a 3-run shot here in the top of the second inning, and the Planets on top 3-0.
And that was something, because Voighton, I actually thought he had it measured up. He was there and looked like he was going to make the catch, and then he started drifting back. Then he had to drift back some more, and that ball just kept on carrying. And Schultz, the freshman, with a huge hit to give them a 3-0 lead.
You talk about a big time to pick up your first hit of the season.
Well, it's one he's going to remember, that's for sure.
Now the Planets on top 3-0 with Matt Fuller batting for the number 9 position, coming to the plate with one out. Here in the top of the second inning, let's see how Dino shakes this one off, and Fuller with a gap shot here right in between Evan Voigt and Tanner Mineo. And the Planets in business again here with 3 already across. And now Fuller on first. And the top of the order, Rowan Fletcher coming to the plate.
Yeah, and that's her 4th hit of this inning alone, Brian. So Vecchiola started out well in a efficient first inning, only throwing 11 pitches. And 11 pitches here, but he's already given up 4 hits in this inning.
Mars attacking Vecchiola early on and counts. Oh, the first pitch here to Rowan Fletcher, and therefore strikes. Quickly the count 0-1. Fletcher had that leadoff single to left field back in the first inning.
Yeah, he was able to fight off that pitch in on his hands and get it down the left field line for a single.
Now Vecchiola checking Fuller. Head first, slide back safely there from Matt. So the Planets now 3 runs on 5 hits.
Well, the Planets, they're checking the runners, but the Planets aren't really known for their stolen bases either. I think they only have 29 for the year.
There's a little nubber from Fletcher backing up the second baseman. Josh Burns will make the grab for the second out of the inning. Now John Weatherholt will come to the plate. Freshman shortstop. Popped up to Tanner Mineo back in the first inning.
And I'm still shocked at how that ball carried, Brian. We talked earlier. We thought with the humidity and everything like that the ball would have trouble carrying here, but that ball took off. I'm still surprised it went out.
First pitch here to Weatherholt, runner going. Throw down to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Matt Fuller. And you look at a guy like Schultz, he might have been a last-minute addition to the lineup, with Will Bednar not being in the lineup on the Mars side, DHing for Max Pasquinelli.
Well, the coach made the right move there. The freshman delivered.
0-1, ground ball going foul here down the first baseline. Now 0-2 to Weatherholt.
Yeah, I had him, 0 for 10 for the year.
I think he was 0 for 8, maybe had 10 plate appearances, 8 at-bats.
Okay. Still, though, big hit by the freshman.
Now the 0-2 pitch to Weatherholt, breaking ball, and this one ripped fair down the first baseline. Ian Edenfield out of the corner. Quick relay in, but it'll score another run. That's coming around to score Matt Fuller from second. stand-up double for John Weatherholt, his 5th RBI this season, putting the Planets on top 4-0. Now Laurel Highlands head coach Scott DeBerry is going to pay a visit here to the mound.
Now he's got to go out there and settle down his sophomore. Vecchiola with a good first, and the Mars just came out hitting here in this second inning.
And the WPIAL playoffs in 2018, so far have not been kind to Dino Vecchiola.
Still, though, he's familiar with what's going on, and he knows what he needs to do here. But I wouldn't be surprised, too, to see the Mustangs go to their bullpen, have somebody at least warming up. We might see Greg Lancaster. He came in the 4th inning last game against Fox Chapel at Hempfield, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's warming up already.
Pitched 4 shutout innings in relief against Fox Chapel last Tuesday. And also talking to Laurel Highlands head coach Scott DeBerry, he said Mason McManus has been very sharp as of late. He's worked out a few areas where he struggled at earlier on in the season, and the Mustangs do have some activity down in the bullpen, and it appears Lancaster is warming up.
Yeah, and I can't see down the right field line, but I'll take your word for it here, Brian.
1-0 count now to Kraska. Vecchiola fastball there, missing inside, and now 2-0. Kraska, the 8th Planet to bat here in this top half of the second inning. That has already seen Mars bring home 4 runs. The 3-run home run from Mitchell Schultz, and an RBI double from John Weatherholt, which drove in Matt Fuller. Now the 2-0, and this one grounded to Zimkoski at third. Long throw over to first to McManus in time to retire Kraska 5-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Planets get 4 and lead Laurel Highlands 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the second here on the Radcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day.
Fighting Planets, 4 runs on.
And keep the dust up.
Back here at West Mifflin High School, moving to the bottom of the second inning. Ian Edenfield, Chad Petrus, and Nate Zimkoski do up for the Mustangs. The Mustangs suddenly finding themselves down 4-0 after Mars picked up a 3-run home run from Mitchell Schultz and an RBI double from John Weatherholt, which drove in Matt Fuller in the top of the second inning. And Laurel Highlands now have to make up some ground again for a second straight playoff game. Laurel Highlands trailed by scores of 3-0 and 5-1 against Fox Chapel in the first round before rallying back for a 6-5 win. They'll have to overcome another 4-run deficit here against Mars this afternoon if they want to advance to tomorrow's semifinal round up at North Allegheny High School. So Ian Edenfield was actually at the plate when the bottom of the first ended, when Mason McManus was picked off, as the count even here at 1-1 from Frank Kraska. Now Kraska's 1-1 pitch, missing low and outside. Count now 2-1. Again, Kraska, a last-minute start for Mars after Will Bednar was ill today. The Ohio State recruit not going for the Planets. Laurel Highlands getting a break there. Now they have to take advantage as Edenfield fouls off that pitch. Evens up the count at 2-2.
And we've seen the Mustangs come back from some deficits this year, Brian. And you mentioned last game, we kind of thought that they were out of the game altogether, and ended up pulling out a huge victory against Fox Chapel.
Of course, the Mustangs have the bats. Now the 2-2 pitch is on the outside corner for strike 3. First strikeout of the afternoon for Frank Kraska. His 40th strikeout of the season. Sends down Ian Edenfield, and we have one out here in the bottom of the first inning, which is being brought to you by Romeo's World Importing in Uniontown.
Yeah, that was a pretty generous strike there, Brian. I thought that was off the plate by probably about a good 6 inches.
Now Chad Petrus at the plate. Takes ball one outside there from Kraska. Petrus, a 5'11", 185 senior, came into this game with a 295 average, a homer and 10 RBIs, and sends one foul there right over the press box.
Well, and as we said before, I've said this on a couple broadcasts, and I think actually one of the playoff games that we did against Char Valley, the umpire, I mean, not degrading him, but he just looks over the inside shoulder, and everything on the outside looks like a strike. You throw some inside pitches there, I bet you're not going to get too many strikes.
Count now 2-1. We're actually seeing some glimpses of the sunshine here today.
And
had some heavy rain this morning.
Nobody knows how to act. Nobody knows what that thing is in the sky.
2-1 pitch. A little in tight there to Petrus. Count out 3-1. Mustangs a couple of singles back in the first inning. Josh Burns single to right. Travis Sankovic followed. Mustangs able to bring home a run so far. There's a little nubber from Petrus, and the catch made by the second baseman, Anthony Michalski, for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, Kraska just fisted Petrus right there, and he had nothing to do, just fought it off. Popped it out to the second baseman.
And now Nate Zimkoski coming to the plate. Zimkoski's had a terrific sophomore season. 5'10", 145. Batting .426, a homer and 16 RBIs, playing third base here today. And the first pitch in there for a strike again from Kraska on that outside corner.
Yeah, and I think the Mustangs might have to crowd the plate a little bit to get to that outside corner because you know that's going to be called for a strike.
Now the 0-1 to Zimkoski, and Nate a little nubber here right in front of home plate. Kraska will pick it up, throw over to first, not in time, and an infield single for Nate Zimkoski.
Tell you what, Zimkoski showed great speed getting down the first base line. That ball wasn't too far out in front of the catcher, but he had that beat easily. Nice play by Kraska, but just had no chance to get Zimkoski.
We mentioned the Mustangs have had a lot of success so far this season with 2 outs and given innings, trying to do the same here this afternoon. Evan Voigtman, who was 3 for 4 against Fox Chapel in the first round, coming to the plate. Batting .379 on the season, takes the first pitch outside. Of course, Voigtman a lefty, 6'3", 175 pounds. Had a couple of home runs, actually 2-in-1 game against Woodland Hills, 9 RBIs for the season, playing left field here today.
And as you mentioned, had a productive game the other day against Fox Chapel.
And now sends this one high in the air to right. Matt Fuller getting under it, and he'll make the grab for the third out of the inning. So the Mustangs strand Nate Zimkoski, and it's still a 4-0 lead for the Mars Planets over the Laurel Highlands Mustangs after 2 here on the Radcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day on WMBS, the South Union Township Sports Network, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Moving to the top of the third inning, new pitcher for the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, Greg Lancaster. Lancaster bailed the Mustangs out last Tuesday against Fox Chapel with 4 scoreless innings, and he'll hop into the game for the 6th time pitching so far on the season with a 2-0 record, 2.29 ERA. He's worked 18 in a third innings, given up 24 hits, 10 runs, 6 of them earned, struck out 13 and walked 6. Coming in now, the Mustangs down 4-0 and facing Jack Anderson to lead off this top of the third inning. And Anderson swings at the first pitch, sends it out to right field, and coming on and making the grab, Ian Edenfield for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, nice play there by Edenfield. That ball started to tail away from him a little bit. He almost overran it, but made a nice play. And the last game against Fox Chapel, what did he have, Brian? 10 putouts in right field. I mean, he's extremely busy, and that's his first putout here today.
Now Tyler Kowalkowski will come to the plate for the Mars Planets. The junior got things started for Mars in the top of the second inning. Will swing at the first pitch here and send this deep to left field. Evan Voigtman, though, coming over and making the grab for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, that was a nice catch there by Voigtman out there. He was able to just keep on running, and that 6'5" frame helped him out to get to that ball as well.
And off the bat, Kowalkowski shot there, so it actually seemed more powerful than the 3-run home run we saw from Mitchell Schultz back in the second inning.
I would agree. I actually thought that had a better chance of getting out of here.
So 2 pitches, 2 outs, and now Anthony Michalski coming to the plate. And he'll take the first pitch for a strike from Greg Lancaster. Looks very efficient again for the Laurel Highlands Mustangs.
Lancaster pretty much relies on 2 pitches, fastball and change.
Now the 0-1 on that pitch in there for a strike again, 0-2. This half inning being brought to you by Ted Silva and Son Auto Repair on the Atlas Road in Hopwood. Now the 0-2 to Michalski, and Anthony sends it on the ground to Zimkoski at third. Should be routine. A little wide throw and making the tag outs over at first Mason McManus. So it wasn't that routine tone, but the Mustangs getting the out nonetheless in a 1-2-3 top half of the third inning. But still, it's the Mars Planets 4, the Laurel Highlands Mustangs nothing, as we head to the bottom of the third here on the Radcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day. Folks, back on the TV side, Richie Mihal leading things off for the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, and Mihal fouls off the first pitch.
And we were talking during the break, Brian. Kraska's only thrown 16 pitches here in the first 2 innings, so he's being extremely efficient.
Welcome back to folks on the radio side. Richie Mihal at the plate, fouled off the first pitch. And the 0-1 from Kraska misses outside, even up the count at 1-1. Again, Mars leading Laurel Highlands 4-0. If you're just joining us, the Planet's getting 4 runs off of Dino Vecchiola. In the second inning, there's a ground ball from Mihal right over the first. Routine play from Evan Homison, stepping on the first base bag to record the out, 3 unassisted for the first out of this bottom of the third inning, which is being brought to you by General Dentist Dr. Edward Wietek.
Yeah, Kraska threw an off-speed pitch there, and Mihal just a little out front of it. Right off the end of the bat down to the first baseman.
Back to the top of the order, and Tanner Minio. Tan grounded out 5-3 back in the first inning. First pitch here from Kraska, a breaking ball. In there for a strike, 0-1. Tan came into the game with a .358 average and 22 RBIs so far in the season.
Kraska throwing a good game here for Mars.
A 1 pitch on the way, and Arminio sends it foul on the left side. Laurel Highlands 3 hits so far. Couple of singles to right from Burns and Sankovic back in the first inning. Infield single from Simkoski in the second inning. But still unable to pick up a run so far in this game. Mason McManus was picked off to end the first inning, and the Mustangs stranded Simkoski in the second. That pitch well outside to Arminio. Count out 1-2.
Well, Kraska just trying to get him to chase there. But we've seen Arminio he has good plate discipline. And he did a good enough job the other day to get the game-winning walk against Fox Chapel.
Now the 1-2 on the way. Misses outside, evens things up at 2-2. And one advantage for Mars if they're able to get the win today with Kraska. And if Bednar is able to get healthy overnight, he'll be able to pitch tomorrow in the semifinal round up at North Allegheny.
And that'll be big.
2-2 now on the way. Breaking ball, and Arminio will send this one foul on the left side.
But we've got a lot of baseball left to go. As we said, we've seen the Mustangs come back from a 4-run deficit last week to win.
We're down 5-1 against Fox Chapel in their opening round game up at Hempfield High School. Last Tuesday, down 4-0 here, and Arminio facing a 2-2 count. Breaking ball from Kraska, again sent foul on the left side. Wouldn't mind seeing the Mustangs get that pitch count up on Kraska a little bit.
Now he's thrown 9 here this inning. We said 25 for the game.
Surprised to see, as efficient as Kraska's been so far in this game, his ERA was 4.30 coming in. There's Arminio off of a pitch that appeared to be high and inside. A swing and a miss for strike 3, and that's the second strikeout of the game for Kraska, who sent down Ian Edenfield to start the bottom of the second inning. And for Kraska, that's his 41st strikeout of the season. So 2 up, 2 down with Josh Burns coming to the plate.
Yeah, and Burns base hit his last time up, a shot through the gap on the right side of the infield.
He'll take strike 1 here from Frank Kraska.
And you have to wonder, too, if Mars got a little momentum whenever McManus was picked off in that first inning. Kind of changed the game a little bit.
Now the 0-1 to Burns, nub foul, and quickly Josh behind 0-2.
Kraska works fast. He
does.
I mean, he's looking for an hour game, I think. He doesn't take a whole lot of times between pitches.
He's been efficient so far. I'm trying to finish off Josh Burns. 0-2 pitch here. Breaking ball just misses off the outside corner of the plate.
Yeah, he didn't miss by much, and He didn't think he missed by much either. Actually, he thought that was a strike.
Those were a couple of pitches similar that we saw called strikes earlier on in the game.
Well, that was the same pitch it was thrown to Edenfield that he struck out on.
And a 1-2 pitch, high and outside on that fastball from Kraska. Evens things up at 2-2.
Now, Burns making him throw some pitches here at least. We're not sure what kind of bullpen Mars has. Bednar, a lot of complete games. I think he had 6 of them.
2-2 on the way to Burns. This one sent high in the air in foul territory on the right side. Coming over, Evan Homison unable to make the grab in foul territory.
Burns lucky to stay alive there. There's some room here on the
certainly
on the sides for this West Mifflin field.
You also have the area that's painted Titans on the right side, which is right in the vicinity that Homison was trying to jet over and make that grab. And you wonder, is maybe a little bit more slick with the paint on that portion of the turf than other areas of the field. And that pitch misses low and outside. And now we're full to Josh Burns at 3-2.
Right, and Mustangs would take a base runner here, especially with Sankovic on deck. Try to cut into this lead.
So 3-2. And Burns, a little ground ball here to second. And booting it is Anthony Michalski. So E4. And Burns aboard with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, Michalski kind of took a look at Burns, and it just came out of his glove. I'm not so sure.
That should have been the third out of the inning.
Yeah, it should have been. Well, hopefully Sankovic can make him pay for it here.
We've seen that many times in games. Those errors come back to get you. Now the meat of this Mustang order coming to the plate, and Travis Sankovic, as they'll check Josh Burns here.
Now, and Sank had a shot, too, in the first inning.
Single to right field. That was off the first pitch that Kraska threw in that at-bat. Now Kraska hits Sankovic, and the Mustangs with 2 on with 2 outs.
Well, need a little 2-out lightning here.
That was a breaking ball that hit McManus, and suddenly you have the game-tying run in the on-deck circle in Edenfield.
Now we're going to have a visit to the mound.
Mason McManus coming to the plate. Edenfield in the on-deck circle. Edenfield would represent the game-tying run.
Well, McManus, the leading RBI guy for the Mustangs. He's got 27 for the year.
A homer and a .456 average.
And he had a big hit the other day against Fox Chapel. He'd love to get his 28th and 29th RBIs here.
Scores.
As Andy Bednar tries to settle down Frank Kraska a little bit.
I think he basically just went out and said, hey, you know what, slow down a little bit. You're just pitching way too fast. It's almost like he's trying to get this game done before the rains come.
Maybe his plans later on today. You never know.
He might be. You never know. Maybe they're proms later. Who knows?
Planets 4 runs on 6 hits and an error so far. The Mustangs 3 hits, but 2 on with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. McManus at the plates takes strike 1 there from Kraska.
Well, they've worked the pitch count in this inning, Brian, to 19 for Kraska.
Had 16 through the first 2 innings.
Right. And shortstop Weatherholt trying to hold Burns tight. He's leaving a big hole on the left side of the infield.
0-1 misses off the plates. Evens things up at 1-1. Mentioned McManus was picked off after hitting into a fielder's choice to end the bottom of the first inning.
Now, I just hate to say it, but he just fell asleep a little bit. Burns was on third.
1-1 here to McManus. Fastball misses outside. Count now 2-1. Certainly a big spot in this game for Laurel Highlands, down 4. Trying to chip away as we work here in the bottom of the third inning.
Well, they've left the runners on each. 1 runner on the last 2 innings, and you surely don't want to leave 2 here.
Now Kraska's 2-1 to Mason McManus. Fastball. Mason, a big cut there. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Count now even at 2-2.
That was a nice fastball by Kraska. That had some giddy up on it. McManus was late. Nice
Kraska's
pitch.
Struck out 2 so far in this game, looking for strikeout number 3. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Mustangs down 4. With Burns on second and Sankovic on first. Now time called here by McManus.
And just took a little too much time. I think Mars, they're just trying to keep Burns tight. I think Kraska was actually thinking about trying to turn around and pick him off at one point. Weatherholt was kind of showing a little flash, but he didn't make the play.
Now the 2-2 pitch on the way. Another fastball swing and a miss, strike three. So Kraska, a couple of big pitches there to send down Mason McManus for his third strikeout of the game, 42nd strikeout of the season. And Laurel Highlands straining two. We'll head to the top of the fourth. It's still Mars 4, Laurel Highlands nothing here on the South Union Township Sports Network, WMBS, and the Triple I High School Sports Network, the Radcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day. Kevin Homison, Mitchell Schultz, and Matt Fuller due up here in the top of the fourth for the Mars Planets. It's Mars 4, Laurel Highlands nothing. Greg Lancaster on for a second inning of relief. Retired the Planets 1-2-3 in the top of the third inning and finds the strike zone on the first pitch here to Homison, who struck out looking, facing Dino Vecchiola back in the second inning.
Yeah, a nice inning by Lancaster. I have him at only 6 pitches in the first inning that he threw.
Lancaster missing there on the 0-1 to even up the count at 1-1. These are the 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the Mars lineup due up, but 2 of the 3 very productive. Schultz had a 3-run home run, and Matt Fuller had a single to left center field. This one a chopper from Homison over to Zimkoski. Long throw, hopped away from the first baseman, Mason McManus. And they certainly would have had Homison.
I would think so. I think you're going to have to give an error there on Nate Zimkoski. Made a nice play, went towards the line. It's a long throw, but just couldn't get it over to McManus, so we're going to have to go E5.
First error of the game for the Mustangs. Now Mitchell Schultz, a freshman who had the 3-run home run over Evan Voighton's head and over the left field fence last time up back in the second inning. And according to the stats that Mars provided us, as Lancaster trying to check Homison there from Max Preps, showed that was Schultz's first hit of the season.
First hit, what? First RBIs, too, I'm sure, right, Brian?
Correct. Was 0 for 8, according to the stats that we had coming into the game. Another check of the runner. Another head first slide back safely there from Homison.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have a hunch about a player, and certainly Coach Bednar might have that hunch for Schultz here today. And a productive first at-bat, and rips another one, but this one foul on the left side.
Tell you what, though, he's got the groove down today.
He does.
For sure. Yeah, looking at some numbers here, Brian, he had, 3 strikeouts, 2 hit by pitches coming into the game. No hits, and only scored 1 run.
Another check of the runner over at first. Back safely again, Homison.
He had left 7 runners on base prior to that hit. That's one you'll remember, especially as a freshman.
Another check of the runner. This top of the fourth being brought to you by the Uniontown Hospital, making a healthy difference in the lives they touch. And Lancaster, about his 5th or 6th throw over. Homison back safely again. Not going to let him get far.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take a look and see. Is he a stolen base threat?
Counts 0-1 to Schultz. Now Lancaster will deliver, and this pitch missing inside. Even things up at 1-1.
Yeah, I don't see. Let's see here. Homison, I have him at 0 stolen bases for the year.
The stats haven't meant much as far as what we've seen on the field so far out of the Mars Planets here this afternoon. Lancaster again checking Homison. And Amundsen came into this game with just a 174 average, so he hasn't been on that often. Getting on here after a throwing error from Nate Zimkowski. Start this top of the fourth inning, and now another delivery there to Schultz. Sent foul here on the right side of the Mustang dugout.
Yeah, and Lancaster, you know, he picked off 2 guys against Fox Chapel over at Hempfield, and I'm sure that's in his mind, thinking that he can pick off more guys, but he's just got to work the count and work on the batters here.
You don't want to become overly concerned with the runners on base, where it detracts maybe from your pitches to the batter on the opposing side.
Oh, and what ends up happening, too, is one of those balls gets away, and you got a runner on third base.
And the 1-2, swing and a miss, but it hops away from Petrus, and Schultz will have first base.
Well, no, he's going to be out because the base was occupied.
I got you. So you're right.
Schultz is out, but Amundsen's going to advance to second. And another runner in scoring position for Mars with only 1 out.
That'll be Matt Fuller coming to the plate.
Right fielder, number 21, Matt Fuller.
Fuller with a single to left center field, stole a base and scored a run last time up in the second inning, and now has Amundsen on second with 1 out, and the Planet's already up 4. Lancaster, another look back at second. Now time called here from Fuller, and the tempo of this game certainly has slowed down a little bit here in the top of the fourth.
Yeah, I think the Mustangs are just a little too worried about the runners on base. Need to get some outs and get some guys up here. Get your big guns in. You're still not out of this game, only down 4.
Lancaster stepping off the mound here again.
And they're trying to keep Amundsen close, but they're giving up a lot of room on both edges of the both edges of the infield.
First pitch to Fuller, hit high in the air in foul territory on the left side. And this ball will drop foul. Evan Voigt in a sliding attempt from the left field position, unable to come up with it.
Yeah, he was disappointed he couldn't get to it. Covered a lot of ground to get there, but tried to make a sliding catch right in front of the fence, and the ball just fell in. Good try by Evan, but just couldn't get the out.
A count of 0-1 to Fuller. Fuller came into this game a .306 average and 7 RBIs.
Now, when we said none of the Mars planets, according to our stats, in double digits in RBIs this year.
0-1 now to Fuller, and again hopping away from Chad Petrus. And down to third is Evan Amundsen.
Now, Petrus there, that ball was just in the dirt, and the problem with that is it's not like it's dirt because it's turf.
It kind of bounces up instead of stopping in front of you.
And Petrus used to playing on the dirt, getting pretty much a true bounce, just keeping everything in front of him, but that's like almost like a super ball once it hits that turf in front.
The Mustangs in danger of this game, getting away from them right now, down 4. Planets threatening again, runner on third, and Evan Amundsen with Matt Fuller at the plate, and 1 out here in the top half of the fourth inning.
This is a big out here if Lancaster can get it.
1-1 to Fuller, fastball misses outside, count now at 2-1. Brian Mrozek alongside Tony Hanola and Jerry Dupay. Bill Madden back in our Uniontown Hospital studios on the radio side. WPIAL 5A quarterfinal round game. Mars and Laurel Highlands. Winner advances to the semifinal round. Take on either Moon or Hampton at 4 o'clock tomorrow at North Allegheny. And that one popped up by Matt Fuller into shallow left on his horse and making the run and the grab. Evan Voigt for the second out of the inning. And with that ball being hit in very shallow left field, no chance of Amundsen to tag from third.
No, and Voigt with a pretty good arm out there as well. He actually thought that ball was a little further back than it was. Had to make a hard break on it to get in and track that ball down.
Now Rowan Fletcher coming to the plate for the third time in this game from the leadoff position for the Mars Planet. Single to left field back in the first inning. Popped up to Josh Burns back in the second inning. Coming to the plate here with 2 outs in this top half of the fourth. And Evan Amundsen on third. He takes the first pitch for a strike from Greg Lancaster.
And nice breaking pitch there by Lancaster. Caught the outside corner.
Lancaster looking for a 6th straight scoreless inning here in the 2018 WPIAL playoffs. And this one hit high in the air to center field. Tanner Minio getting under it and making the grab for the third out of the inning. So Mars stranding Hamilton, and the Planets still lead the Mustangs by 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the fourth here on the Radcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day.
0. No runs on no hits and 1 man left on base.
Leading off for the Mustangs in the bottom of the fourth inning, Ian Edenfield. He'll be followed by Chad Petrus and Nate Simkoski. The Mustangs looking to break into the scoring column. Down 4-0.
Still looking for some runs, and Edenfield struck out looking back in the second inning. Count now even here at 1-1.
And they've stranded 4 runners so far today as well.
Midway through this 5A quarterfinal round game, Mustangs plenty of work to do here in the middle innings. 1-1 to Edenfield, breaking ball, and that one in there for a strike. Counting out 1-2 this half inning, being brought to you by the Republic Food Enterprise Center and the Fayette County Community Action Agency.
And that pitch right there froze Edenfield. Kraska doing a nice job. Has a great off-speed pitch, Brian.
Now the 1-2 to Edenfield, another off-speed pitch. Nub foul there by Ian. Count remains 1-2.
Yeah, he barely got a piece of that.
Kraska threw 39 pitches through 3 innings.
That's pretty efficient, though.
Now he'll step off.
That's what you want. You figure if you can throw 15 pitches an inning, you're in pretty good shape.
Had only 16 pitches through the first 2 innings, and then threw 23 in the third inning.
Now the Mustangs were a little more patient that last inning. Burns ended up getting on a 3-2 count. McManus took a couple pitches, Arminio as well.
Count now 2-2 here to Edenfield, and off the inside of the bat, Edenfield sends it in a left field, but charging and getting there, Max Pasquinelli for the first out of the inning from the left field position.
And I didn't get out on the field obviously before the game, but you got to wonder if it's a higher sky. Left fielders are having a little bit of trouble just judging the distances.
13.
Actually, the sun out right now.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Voighton, thought he had one measured up, and it was out of the park. And had to break in on a couple as well. And even on that one, Pasquinelli had to come in as well. Thought it was a little bit deeper. Then at the last minute, had to make a break on it.
Chad Petrus took ball 1 high. 1-0 pitch misses outside. Now 2-0 to Petrus, who popped out to Anthony Michalski back in the fourth inning. 4 runs on 6 hits in an error for the Planet so far. No runs on 3 hits in an error for the Mustangs as Petrus sends that one foul. Actually, on the right side, it's going to stay in fair territory and get caught. Making the out defensively, Anthony Michalski from the second base position. The way that one started, Tone, I thought it was going to carry foul on the right side. It stayed in fair territory, and Michalski had quite a run there from the second base position, came over and made the catch to retire Petrus for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, he covered a lot of ground to get over there, Brian. Nice play by Michalski.
And now Nate Simkoski at the plate for the Mustangs. He'll swing at the first pitch. Ground ball here to third. Kowalkowski with a throw over to first. Evan Homison in time for the out. So 1-2-3. Bottom half of the fourth inning. Still 4-0 Planets over the Mustangs after 4. Here in the Radcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day on WMBS, the Triple I High School Sports Network, and the South Union Township Sports Network.
At the end of 4 innings, Fighting Planets 4, Mustangs 0. No runs on no hits and no men left on base.
John Weatherholt, Frank Kraska, and Jack Anderson due up here in the top half of the 5th inning for the Mars Planets. It's still Mars 4 and Laurel Highlands nothing.
Weatherholt 1 for 2 on the day.
Craig Lancaster on for his 3rd inning of relief for the Mustangs. Finds the strike zone. The first pitch here to Weatherholt. Of course, Weatherholt, that big RBI double last time up.
Big RBI double, and he's only a freshman.
And you look at the contributors here today on the Planets side. Of course, Schultz, a freshman with a 3-run home run, and Weatherholt, a freshman with an RBI. So all 4 RBIs in this game from Mars freshmen.
Wow. Going to have a good squad next year as well.
Lancaster's 1-1, misses low. And, of course, their top pitcher, Will Bednar, who was scheduled to start today, last-minute scratch due to an illness. He's only a junior, Ohio State recruit. He'll be back next year. 2-1 pitch. Big cut there from Weatherholt. Swing going to miss. Evens things up at 2-2.
Now, I know you're happy he's going to be a Buckeye, right, Brian?
Well, he's committed to Ohio State. Would not be surprised if he ends up getting drafted next year as well. We'll see how it all pans out. And, of course, if that happens, some big decisions to make.
Yeah, I'd read the article, too, in the Post-Gazette, and that's what they were saying. Scouts, next year, he's just going to have plenty of them coming. Might get an offer beforehand. They won't commit to saying anything about junior players, but he's got a lot of talent.
Now the 3-2 pitch, chopped foul on the right side after the 2-2 miss low to Weatherholtz.
And nothing against Kraska, but I was a little disappointed Bednar couldn't start. I wanted to see what he had.
I did too. Might have an opportunity in the semifinal round for the Planets tomorrow if Bednar is able to get well, and I'm sure they'll need him for that semifinal round game if they get by the Mustangs today against either Moon or Hampton. And there's Greg Lancaster with a big strikeout. Swing and a miss from Weatherholtz. That's the 2nd strikeout of the game for Lancaster, the 4th for Mustang pitchers.
Now batting, pitcher number 20,
and
Frank.
No walks by either Mustang pitcher so far here today.
Gino Vecchiola got the start, lasted only 2 after giving up 4 runs in the 2nd inning, including that 3-run home run to Mitchell Schultz, as Lancaster finds the strike zone in the first pitch here to Frank Kraska. And now Lancaster's 0-1, and Kraska with a line drive. Tanner Minio charging from the center field position and retiring Frank Kraska for the 2nd out in this top half of the 5th.
Minio, nice break on that ball. He actually made that look easy. I thought it had a chance to fall in.
And Lancaster now has pitched 6 2/3 innings of scoreless baseball here in the WPIAL playoffs.
Now, and he came in and did the job for the Mustangs last week, and he's doing it again here today.
Now facing Jack Anderson, a breaking ball in tight. Count 1-0.
And that pitch didn't miss by much. Anderson, he's right on top of the plate, Brian.
Now the 1-0 to Anderson. Missing low there is Lancaster. Count at 2-0.
I mean, I'll bet you the distance between the inside chalk line on the plate and his spike is probably only about an inch. I mean, he's right on top of the plate.
You have to hope, if you're a Laurel Highlands fan out there listening or watching, the Mustangs can get the bats going, maybe start to wear down Frank Kraska a little bit. Still 9 outs to work with. That's some ground certainly to make up, down 4.
Well, we saw some magic last week in the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning. Hopefully we see it again today.
2-0 to Anderson, rip foul on the left side. A lot of power in the bat that time from Jack. As Tony mentioned, 0 for 2 coming into this game, or coming into this at-bat, but came into this game with a .359 average and 3 RBIs.
Right. And that pitch right there was in on his hands, but it was actually right down the middle of the plate.
Now the 2-1 to Anderson. That one misses low and outside. Count now 3-1.
And we'll have to pay attention if Coach Bednar actually told his players to get more on top, because it seems the strike zone is just a little bit outside.
3-1 on the way. That misses for ball 4. That's the first walk issued by Mustang pitchers in this game, giving Mars a base runner with 2 outs here in the top half of the 5th.
Now, no sooner we said it. First runner gets on via walk.
This half inning being brought to you by Ford of Uniontown, Route 40, located on top of the hill across from Applebee's. Now Tyler Kowalkowski coming to the plate. Kowalkowski 1 for 2 today. Came into this game with a .316 average and 7 RBIs. Sends the first pitch foul, 0-1.
And it looks like Coach Bednar did tell him that. It looks like a lot of these players right now are right on top of the plate, Brian.
Count 0-1. Bill Chirpak actually in the Laurel Highlands dugout today. He's the WPIAL representative here for this game today. Of course, Chirp, the longtime head football coach and athletic director at Thomas Jefferson High School, played collegiate football for the University of Pittsburgh. 0-1 with a runner going. The pitch was in there for a strike throw down to second and in time. So Jack Anderson caught stealing to end this top half of the fifth inning. So the Mustangs will try to get the bats going down 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the fifth here on the Ratcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day on WMBS, the Triple Live High School Sports Network and the South Union Township Sports Network.
Mustangs 0. No runs on no hits and no men left on base.
Back here at West Mifflin High School, Evan Voigt and Richie Mihal and Tanner Minio due up for the Mustangs. Laurel Highlands down 4-0, trying to get the bats going here, Tom.
Now the Mustangs got to do something quick. They're down to their last 9 outs, and they just haven't been able to solve Kraska here today.
Evan Voigt certainly productive in Laurel Highlands' first-round playoff win over Fox Chapel, going 3 for 4 against the Foxes when he made his first start in nearly a month. Takes the first pitch here. Inside for ball one. Of course, Voighton injured in Laurel Highlands' first game of the season, April the 16th against Albert Gallatin. He actually got injured pitching. But he was certainly productive to that point. Had 2 home runs in a game we saw up at Woodland Hills in early April.
Yeah, he started off well, and the injury just kind of slowed him down there a little bit. But he's coming back now and playing well in the playoffs for the Mustangs.
Bats left-handed. Ahead 2-0 here against Frank Kraska, and Kraska's 2-0 pitch, nub foul there from Voighton. Count now 2-1.
That's only Kraska's 52nd pitch. That's unofficial, but extremely efficient here today. Has not walked a batter.
2-1 here to Voighton, and Evan with a shot here on the right side, getting through. So Evan Voighton, another productive hit for the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, came into this game with a .379 average. A single to right. Maybe start a rally here for Laurel Highlands in the bottom half of the fifth.
Now that's the first hit by the Mustangs since the second inning when Zimkowski with the infield single. So good start for the Mustangs. They definitely wanted to get that leadoff batter on.
The Mustangs put 2 men on base back in the third inning. Josh Burns got on via an error, and Sankovic was hit by a pitch. Couldn't bring anyone home. Had 2 hits back in the first inning. Burns and Sankovic a couple of singles to right. That inning ended after Mason McManus got picked off after hitting into a fielder's choice. And now Mihal at the plate took the first pitch for ball one. 1-0 on the way. Big cut there from Richie. Evens things up at 1-1. Have to pass along a hello to our colleague Steve Suprick, who checked in this afternoon. Listening during his afternoon activities.
Calling us classic eye jazzers.
1-1 to Mihal. Hit opposite field right. Getting under it is Matt Fuller, and he'll make the grab for the first out of the inning.
And Richie, nice shot there, just not able to advance Voighton. That's going to bring up Nathaniel Arminio.
He's due for a hit after grounding out in the first inning and striking out swinging back in the third.
Well, Tanny's a number 2 RBI guy on this team behind McManus. He has 22 RBIs, and most of those came in the number 9 spot.
First team all section as Kraska checks Voighton over at first.
Hey, want to give a quick shout out too to my staff back at Radiologic Consultants, Debbie and Bernie and Becky and Carm and Christine. Thanks for listening today.
They let you out of the office this afternoon to work the game.
Yeah, they might be partying. Who knows?
First pitch finds the strike zone there to Arminio. Tan's behind 0-1 against Frank Kraska. Now the 0-1 breaking ball misses outside, evens things up at 1-1. This half inning being brought to you by the Thomas M. Dolphy Funeral Home of Uniontown.
And Voight not with a very big lead. Kraska checking on him, but I'd be more afraid of throwing that ball away. You're at the point now where you just need 8 outs. Forget that runner. You've got a 4-run lead. Just work on the batter.
1-1 now to Arminio. Fastball catches the outside corner for a strike. 1-2. Where are we at pitch count wise on Kraska, Tone?
I have him at 58.
Okay. That's still very efficient as we work here with 1 out in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Again, you're limited to 100 pitches. New PIAA rule that went into effect before last season. Breaking ball there. Arminio hits it on the ground to third. Kowalkowski will make the long throw over to first in time to retire Arminio as Voighton advances down to second to get into scoring position now with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 5th.
Yeah, kind of surprised Kowalkowski didn't try to get Voighton there.
I agree.
He wasn't running on the pitch. It wasn't a hit and run. But he was able to get the short out at first base.
Maybe going the safe route, knowing you have a 4-run cushion at this juncture of the game.
You can't blame him.
Now Josh Burns coming to the plate. He's been on during both plate appearances so far. Single to right field back in the 1st inning. Got on via an error in the 3rd inning. And will take the first pitch here for ball 1.
Yeah, got on an error by Mikowski. Just tried to throw the ball before he caught it. Burns looking for his 19th RBI here on the season.
Now the 1-0 here to Burns. Fastball on the outside corner, but missed that time for ball 2.
Yeah, both of those pitches didn't miss by much. The umpire's been extremely consistent too, Brian.
Now 2-0, Kraska to Burns with 2 outs. And Voighton on second. A little step off there from Kraska. If you're just joining us, the story coming into the game was the last-minute scratch of Mars's projected starting pitcher, Will Bednar, the Ohio State recruit, unable to pitch today. The Planets have blanked the Mustangs so far as Burns sends another one foul here on the right side. And it's been the freshman making a difference for Mars this afternoon. Mitchell Schultz, his first hit of the season, a 3-run home run to left. Got things started. Another freshman, John Weatherholt, with an RBI double to drive in Matt Fuller. And all 4 runs occurring back in the 2nd inning. Now a 2-1 count here to Burns. And that pitch, again, just misses off the plate on the right side. And now the catcher, Jack Anderson, will have a little chat here with pitcher Frank Kraska.
Well, you know, I just thought about it, too. That would be Schultz's first varsity hit.
Correct.
So how about that? You get your first varsity hit without a hit all year, come in a playoff game and hit a 3-run homer.
Yep.
Wow.
That's going to be one to remember.
Yeah, no kidding. Nice job.
You talk about a good move by Mars's head coach, Andy Bednar, to put him into the lineup. Maybe on a hunch today. It certainly paid off, and there's Burns chopping another one foul.
Well, we talked about that last week with Scott DeBerry. Every move he made last week was perfect against Hempfield. He started Voighton. Voighton ended up having a 3-for-4 day. Pulled Vecchiala, three innings in and went with Lancaster. And then even the hang-up play to score a run. So every move Coach DeBerry made last week was right on to target. And so far, Coach Bednar is the same way here today.
3-2 pitch now on the way, and Burns sends it into center field, hopping in front of Rowan Fletcher. And the relay coming in not in time, and the Mustangs will score their first run of the game. And now the throw getting away, and Josh Burns slides into second base. So Burns, an RBI single to center field, driving in Evan Voighton, and the Mustangs back to within 3, down 4-1.
Yeah, and that's Burns' second hit today. 19th RBI for the year. And it's going to bring up Travis Sankovic, the best hitter so far for the Mustangs this year.
Now you have Burns down in scoring position at second. Mustangs trying to start a little rally back here in the bottom half of the 5th. Now down 3 again. If you go back to Laurel Highlands' first-round playoff game against Fox Chapel, the Mustangs trailed by margins of 3-0 and 5-1. Rallied back for a 6-5 win. Actually won the game on a walk-off walk as Tanner Minio walked with the bases loaded in the bottom half of the 7th inning, scoring the courtesy runner Alec McLay. And the Mustangs won 6-5, now down 4-1 here after Burns' RBI single to center field drove in Evan Voighton, and Travis Sankovic at the plate. He's been on base in both plate appearances so far here in this game, behind 0-1 here against Kraska. Kraska's 0-1 pitch finds the strike zone again, and the lefty Sankovic is headed to Florida Southwestern College next year, now behind 0-2.
Yeah, he didn't like that call, but that was a pretty good pitch on the inside corner there by Kraska. Sankovic, again, he's right on top of the plate. So that pitch didn't have very far to go. Once it crossed the plate, he kind of backed out. Thought it was inside, but it was perfect.
And again, Kraska, he'll be pitching at Lafayette College next season. Had 0-2 here against Sankovic, trying to get out of this bottom half of the fifth inning. Brings a fastball, and Sank gets it right back up the gut. Went off the side of the foot of Kraska, deflected over to the shortstop Weatherholt, who fired it over to first baseman Evan Homison in time to retire Sankovic. So defensively, Mars getting a fortunate bounce.
Wow, that was a big break right there. I mean, that ball's going right up the middle. Burns would have scored without a problem. Looked like it might have hit the mound, popped straight up in the air, and nice play by Weatherholt.
I thought it actually caught the side of his foot. Nonetheless, it goes 1-6-3 if it did clip him to end the inning, and it's 4-1 now. Mars over Laurel Highlands. Mustangs get a run back in the bottom of the fifth here on the Radcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day.
Tyler Kowalkowski, number 10.
Back here for the top half of the sixth inning, Tyler Kowalkowski leading things off here for the Mars Planets. Greg Lancaster still on the mound for the Laurel Highlands Mustangs. 3 shutout innings already this afternoon for Lancaster, missing here on the first pitch to Kowalkowski. Now the 1-0, Kowalkowski fouls it back, and Tyler's 1 for 2 so far in this game. Had a single to center field to lead off the second inning.
Yeah, and I have Kraska at 78 pitches through these 5 innings.
So Mustangs might be able to get him out before all is said and done. We'll wait and see. 1-1 now on the way. Missing low. Count now at 2-1 this half inning. Being brought to you by Davis & Davis, Attorneys at Law, helping local people with their legal matters since 1976, regardless of your legal problem. Davis & Davis promises you personalized, friendly hometown service. I'm sure our colleague Gary Frankhauser listening if possible. Back in Fayette County. Say hello to Gary. I know he wishes he could be here today.
Well, he's missing a good one.
2-1 pitch missed outside. Now 3-1 to Tyler Kowalkowski, the leadoff hitter for the Mars Planets. Here in the top half of the sixth inning, Mars leading Laurel Highlands 4-1. 3-1 on the way, right down the pipe for a strike, and we're full of 3-2. Lancaster to Kowalkowski.
I mean, outside of the second inning, when Mars scored 4, that's pretty much it. We've seen a pretty evenly matched
3-2
game.
on the way line drive, glove down by Zimkoski at third. Zimkoski, another nice defensive effort for the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, taking a hit away from Kowalkowski.
He's getting a workout down there at third base, but he's doing a great job. Sophomore's been consistent all year long for the Mustangs.
Talking about a good player coming back.
Anthony Mikowski.
You combine the defense from Zimkoski and the fact that he's hitting .426 coming into this game on the season. And only a sophomore as Anthony Michalski fouls off the first pitch there from Greg Lancaster. 0-1 is the count. Michalski also 1 for 2 today. Singled back in the second inning. Grounded out to end the third.
Now the Mustangs with 11 seniors on this team. Zimkoski's going to have a chance to pretty much be a team leader next year. His experience and coming in as a junior, he'll be a key factor for the Mustangs next year.
There's an honorable mention, all section selection as well. 0-2 pitch now on the way. Lancaster to Michalski, just missing there. Count now 1-2. Lancaster had a nice breaking ball on the 0-1 that found the strike zone. 4 runs on 6 hits in an air now for the Planets. A run on 5 hits in an air for the Mustangs. 1-2 here. Lancaster to Michalski. A little chin music. Evens things up at 2-2.
Yeah, Greg just released that ball a little high. Up in the head area of Michalski, but
2-2 on the way. A little check swing. They're going to appeal down to first. Michalski did not go, so now we're full of 3-2.
That was a nice pitch by Greg. Tried to get Michalski to chase, but wouldn't go for it. Now with a 3-2 count.
1 out as we work here in the top of the sixth. Mars up 3, trying to add to it. 3-2 pitch on the way. Said foul on the right side by Michalski. Count remains 3-2. We mentioned what a nice complex here at West Mifflin. Some all-turf surface.
Nice press box.
A lot of youth fields around the area. Michalski ground ball here. Stankovic, the snag. It's short, long throw over to first, not in time. Infield single there for Anthony Michalski. Not much Sankadoo from that one.
No, it wasn't. That ball got to him pretty quick being on the turf. Stankovic made a nice play, but Michalski just with a lot of speed did a nice job beating it out.
Michalski was grabbing his back, actually, after he ran down the first base line, and the trainer now coming out to check on him. He's all right. Michalski now 2 for 3 in this game. Came into the game with a 286 average, and that'll bring up Evan Homison. Homison struck out looking back in the second inning, got on via throwing error from Nate Simkoski in the fourth inning. The senior came into this game batting just 174 with a solo RBI. Comes to the plate here with Michalski on first, and one out here in the top of the sixth, and his Planets up 3 at 4-1.
Now they're trying to get some insurance runs here. The Mustangs still not out of this game, only down 3.
First pitch missing to Evan Homison. Count 1-0, and now Lancaster checking Michalski over at first. Of course, our former colleague Mike Sackley was an alum of Mars. Worked for us both here on WMBS and on the South Union Township TV side. Ground ball here getting through on the left side. Good hit there from Evan Homison. Will give the Planets runners on first and second with 1 out. Mike currently working in the aviation field in St. George, Utah right now.
Wow.
So he made
a different than being a WMBS in Uniontown, PA.
He made a career change, and I understand Mike's doing well out in Utah, so we wish him the best.
Yeah, and that was a nice shot there by Homison. Zimkoski played him pretty good there, but just couldn't get to it. And as we said, this ball's really quick on this turf.
Now 2 on with 1 out, and Mitchell Schultz coming to the plate. And the first pitch to Schultz in there for a strike. Of course, Schultz has been the story of this game. The freshman, a 3-run home run off of Dino Vecchiola back in the second inning. Came into this game 0 for 8. His first varsity hit, now throw over to first. And they got him.
I was going to say.
On the throw over, Homison picked off by Greg Lancaster. And Lancaster had a good pick off against Fox Chapel in the first round. Picks off Homison here. And now 2 outs here in this top half of the sixth.
Yeah, that's his third pickoff in the last 2 games. Nice job by Greg.
And Lancaster now has pitched 7 2/3 scoreless innings here in the 2018 WPIAL playoffs. 0-1 here to Mitchell Schultz. And Schultz fouls it back in our direction.
Almost came our way.
Jerry was ducking.
Jerry, yeah. Jerry's going to have the baseball seams on that one.
0-2 now to Mitchell Schultz. Folks at West Mifflin tell us they haven't had any comeback.
Yeah, that means
this way this year, so they're due.
That means one's coming today.
Schultz fouls another, actually sends one off here in foul territory. Mustangs might have a play on it, and it drops foul. A little miscommunication there between McManus and Petrus. That's a ball that should have been caught there by the Mustangs in foul territory.
Now that's a play that McManus has to call off. That's a tough play for the catcher anytime. It's a much easier play for the first baseman. McManus should have called him off. The Mustangs would have been out of this inning.
Yeah, tough one there for Laurel Highlands. Count remains 0-2 to Mitchell Schultz with 2 outs here in the top of the sixth.
Schultz
0-2 from Lancaster, and Schultz fouls another one back.
He's trying to get us, I think, Brian. Schultz trying for his 4th RBI here today.
Came into the game with that one for the season.
Mustangs playing him pretty much straight up.
0-2 now on the way, and Schultz golfs another one into center field. Tanner Minio getting under, and he'll make the grab to end the inning. So the Mustangs blanking the Planets here in the top half of the sixth, but Mars still leading Laurel Highlands 4-1. Mustangs have their final 6 outs. We'll head to the bottom of the sixth here on the Radcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day.
Mason McManus
Back here on the TV side, Mason McManus leading off this bottom half of the sixth for the Laurel Highlands Mustangs. Mustangs down 4-1. Frank Kraska still on the hill for the Mars Planets.
And I have Kraska at 79 pitches coming into this fifth inning.
1-0 to McManus. Off the plate again, 2-0. Welcome back to folks on the radio side as well. Mars 4, Laurel Highlands 1. Bottom half of the sixth, Mason McManus at the plates. McManus, Edenfield, and Petrus due up for the Mustangs. Laurel Highlands trying to chip away, and Mason McManus, a big shot here to deep left field, and that ball's going to head over the wall. A solo home run from Mason McManus, his second home run of the season. 28th RBI has the Mustangs back to within 2 at 4-2.
Yeah, he waited on that pitch perfect, just waited for a breaking ball. Kraska hung it a little bit. McManus was able to jump on it. Nice shot there by Mason. Cuts the lead in half now to Mustangs. As we said, still not out of this game, Brian.
Certainly a little momentum back in Laurel Highlands' direction there on the solo home run from Mason McManus. We mentioned a couple of times Laurel Highlands had deficits of 3-0 and 5-1 in the first round against Fox Chapel. Rallied back for a 6-5 win, now down 4-2 after falling behind 4-0. After the Planets plated 4 in the top half of the second inning. Now Ian Edenfield trying to keep things going. He'll take the first pitch for strike one on the outside corner there from Frank Kraska.
Yeah, and I can't really tell if we have pitchers warming up in the Mars bullpen.
There is some activity down there.
Yeah.
2 different pitchers warming up down there for the Planets. Tough to tell from our perspective. The numbers on the players' jerseys down there. One appears to be number 25. That's Joe Kraska. Of course, Joe, the Virginia Tech recruit, only a sophomore, Frank's younger brother. You mentioned his numbers coming into this game, Tone.
Right, and he's tough. And Shea Moff is the other. And I think he's just catching up for him, actually.
0-1 to Ian Edenfield. Breaking ball there from Frank Kraska. Had Edenfield a little off on that one.
And I think that first at bat did that to Edenfield. But he get caught on that outside pitch as a strike, and now he's just trying to protect.
Now the 0-2 fastball misses well outside. Count now at 1-2.
Edenfield, as you mentioned, struck out the first time and flew out to left field second time up.
The 1-2 on the way. Check swing. Did he go? No. They counted 2-2. Close.
And we've got somebody looking for McManus' home run ball so he can keep that playoff souvenir.
That was well up on the hill.
Yeah, I don't think it's where that guy is.
No, I think it's a little farther down and to the left.
I do too.
He's well up there.
Yeah.
Might find another ball up there and say, oh, this is your home run ball.
I don't think it's the one.
Now the 2-2 on the way to Edenfield. Breaking ball. That one, Ian went a chasing. Strike 3 in for Kraska. That's his 4th strikeout of the afternoon. 43rd strikeout of the season. Now we have one out here in the bottom half of the 6th inning with Chad Petrus coming to the plate, and both of Petrus's out so far in this game. He's 0 for 2, and Anthony Michalski's direction of the second base position. And this one popped foul on the right side. This half inning being brought to you by the Centers for Rehab Services, the leaders in physical therapy. Visit physical therapist Jim Burns on Wayland Smith Drive or call 724-437-7500. The Centers for Rehab Services. Relief is closer than you think. 0-1 to Petrus. A little number here, right back up the middle. And the shortstop, John Weatherholt, was able to come up with the ball but had no play over at first. So an infield single for Chad Petrus will bring the game-tying run to the plate to Nate Zimkoski.
Yeah, and Petrus kind of caught that ball off the end of the bat, hit it right up the middle. Kind of had a funny spin as well. Weatherholt went to break for it and actually had to reach back to his right, and Petrus was able to leg that out without a problem.
Alec McLean will come on as the courtesy runner here for Petrus. He scored the game-winning run for Laurel Highlands against Fox Chapel last Tuesday in the first round. And Nate Zimkoski is 1 for 2 in this game. Now coming to the plate, and he'll swing at the first pitch. He'll pop it up in a shallow center. Rowan Fletcher on the run will make the grab for the second out of the inning.
I thought that ball might fall into no man's land there, Brian. Had all three defenders from Mars. He had Weatherholt, Mikowski, and Fletcher all trailing it down, but thought it was going to fall in, but nice play by Fletcher.
Now Evan Voighton, who's 1 for 2 in this game, scored the Mustangs' first run He was driven home by Josh Burns. And Voighton certainly has some pop in his bat. We saw him hit 2 home runs against Woodland Hills back in early April. A home run here would tie the game.
And it would be nice. We'd love to see it here. And he hit a couple shots down at Woodland Hills, as you said. Those balls went out a long way. He would have no trouble carrying it out of here.
Now Frank Kraska's first pitch here to Evan Voighton. And there for a strike on the inside corner. Of course, Voighton a lefty, so that same spot, we've seen a lot of close ones here throughout the course of the afternoon.
Right. Voighton just trying to keep this inning alive.
Now the 0-1 to Voighton, another breaking ball, this one missing inside. Evens things up at 1-1.
And McClay not with much of a lead. Trying to be a little cautious. Surely doesn't want to get picked off in this situation.
He'll throw over to first. McClay back safely. I mentioned McClay, plenty of speed, was a striker on the Laurel Highlands soccer team. Has been big on the base paths throughout the course of the season as a courtesy runner here today, or throughout the season, and now in as a courtesy runner here today. That pitch missing outside of Voighton, counting out 2-1.
On as many runs and hits as the Mustangs have had, he's got to see a lot of action on the base paths.
2-1 now to Voighton. Big cut there from Evan. Swing and a miss, evens things up now at 2-2.
Yeah, he missed that by much.
This will likely be the last inning for Frank Kraska, approaching 100 pitches.
I have him right now he's at 93.
2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Down goes Evan Voighton. So the Mustangs pick up a solo home run for Mason McManus. End up stranding courtesy runner Alec McClay after Chad Petrus's infield single. Mustangs find themselves down 4-2 to the Mars Planets as we head to the top of the 7th here on the Radcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day.
Fighting Planets 4, Mustangs 2. 1 run on 2 hits and 1 man left on base.
Moving to the top of the 7th inning here, West Mifflin High School. The Titans with Matt Fuller, Rowan Fletcher, and John Weatherholtz due up. And Greg Lancaster still on the mound for the Mustangs. Came on in relief to start the 3rd inning. And he's certainly been, I think, Tone, the MVP of the 2018 WPIAL playoffs for the Laurel Highlands Mustangs.
Oh, he's been fantastic for the Mustangs, coming in and shutting down Fox Chapel last Tuesday and now shutting down Mars here. Just doing a great job for Coach DeBerry.
Try to keep Matt Fuller, Rowan Fletcher, and John Weatherholt off the board. Here in the 7th inning, again, Lancaster with 8 shutout innings so far in this 2018 WPIAL High School Baseball playoffs. Now Matt Fuller at the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a stolen base and a run scored so far this afternoon. Wind up in the first pitch there from Lancaster, missing outside for ball 1.
Yeah, and I have Lancaster at 56 pitches here, Brian, in his 4+ innings of work.
Again, came on to start the 3rd after Dino Vecchiola surrendered 4 runs in the top of the 2nd inning. Lancaster finding the strike zone there to even up the count at 1-1 to Matt Fuller.
Now the Mustangs just get 3 outs here and try to come in and score a couple and tie this game up.
1-1 sent foul by Fuller. The junior came into this game with a .306 average and 7 RBIs, playing right field here today. Again, if you're just joining us, the story coming in, Will Bednar, the Ohio State recruit, was expected to start for Mars. Got ill before the game, and Mars going with Frank Kraska, who certainly has been efficient, just yielding 2 runs to the Mustangs so far this afternoon.
He's pitched a fantastic game for Mars.
Now the 2-2 here to Fuller. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So 1 out now recorded here in the top half of the 7th inning. And certainly the freshman impact has been big for the Planets this afternoon as well. Freshman Mitchell Schultz in his first varsity hit, picking up a 3-run home run over the left field fence. And then another freshman, John Weatherholtz, an RBI double, drove in Matt Fuller. Those are the 4 runs the Planets have produced so far in this game. And here's one sent right back over the head of Lancaster into center field from Rowan Fletcher, the leadoff hitter. And Fletcher, with his second hit of the afternoon, a single into center field.
Yeah, Fletcher, the junior center fielder, he's had a nice game today, both offensively and defensively.
Now, Scott DeBerry will pay a visit here to Greg Lancaster. That'll give us an opportunity to let you know that this game and the broadcast rights to this game are the sole and exclusive property of the WPIAL, WMBS, and the South Union Township Sports Network, along with the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Any broadcast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of the listening audience, and any use, rebroadcast, or distribution of this broadcast without the express written consent of the WPIAL, WMBS, the South Union Township Sports Network, and the Trib Live High School Sports Network is strictly prohibited. And we're going to have a pitching change here for the Mustangs.
Yeah, this is interesting. They're going to go to Travis Sankovic. He's more of a closer for the Mustangs, but kind of surprised he pulled Lancaster that fast.
So we'll step aside for a quick timeout here on WMBS, the Trib Live High School Sports Network, and the South Union Township Sports Network.
Number 2, Greg.
We're back here at West Mifflin High School. New pitcher for the Laurel Highlands Mustangs, Travis Sankovic. This will be his 4th appearance of the year. Has worked 5 innings. And Sank has yet to give up an earned run. Struck out 8, walked 3. And we'll come on here with the Mustangs now down to it 4-2 after Greg Lancaster pitched another gem in relief, going 5 1/3 without giving up a run. Of course, he's still responsible for Rowan Fletcher over at first.
Right, but great effort again by Lancaster. Kept the Mustangs in this game just like he did last week.
Now Sank here facing Weatherholt, another freshman, lefty. First pitch misses for ball 1.
Sankovic pretty much just a one-pitch pitcher. He just throws a fastball. I'm not so sure we've actually seen him throw a breaking pitch here.
Saw a couple in relief going back near the end of the season. I think against Gateway he came in. Swing and a miss there from Weatherholtz.
Yeah, he's pretty much okay. I got some giddy up, and you're going to try to catch up to it, and I'm going to try to blow it past you. It's all just old school hardball here.
Also pitched late, and Laurel Highlands win at home over Woodland Hills. That was a game that was stopped for close to an hour rain delay.
Now we've been fortunate here today.
The rain's held off this afternoon. Had some heavy thunderstorms down in Fayette County overnight into the early hours of this morning.
Yeah, we've been extremely fortunate here.
Mustangs down 4-2. Runner going here. Sank brings the fastball, but it was dropped there by the catcher Chad Petrus. So stolen base from Rowan Fletcher, uncontested. Yeah. I think Petrus would have made the attempt, though, if would have came up with it clean. Pitch missed for a ball, so the count's now 2-1 to Weatherholt from Travis Sankovic.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he would even have a chance to get Fletcher. He had a pretty good jump.
Weatherholt now going opposite field to left. Evan Voighton on the run to the fence, unable to come up with it. Count now even at 2-2. As Mars looks for a couple of insurance runs, the Mustangs will be down to their final 3 outs, down 2, moving to the bottom of the 7th inning, and they'll likely be facing a new pitcher. Frank Kraska, just shy of 100 pitches thrown so far in this game. It might be his younger brother, Joe, that we see for the 7th.
I would think so.
Here's Sank set again. 2-2 here to Weatherholtz. Takes a little off that one. It hops away from Petrus. Runner going down to third again. No throw.
Yeah, Petrus. Not his fault. Those pitches in the dirt. So we said just take a different spin off of that turf. You know, we've been used to playing at fields that have a ton of dirt around the home plate area, but it's a little bit different here off the turf, and he's just struggled trying to keep it in front of him here today.
The Mustangs have played here before, but not this year. Last time they were here 2 years ago when Laurel Highlands and West Mifflin played in the same conference. Now the 3-2 pitch low for ball 4. I'll put runners on first and third.
Now, and that's only the second walk today by Mustang pitching.
Now Scott DeBerry coming out again here. The talk to Sank. We might see Mason McManus. We will. Another pitching change for the Mustangs. Second pitching change of the inning. We'll take another time out here on WMBS, the South Union Township Sports Network, and the Tribble Live High School Sports Network. Back here at West Mifflin High School, Laurel Highlands now going with their fourth pitcher of the afternoon, and Mason McManus, and a slew of defensive changes for the Mustangs. We'll pass those along as well. Mars with runners on first and third. Still one out as we work here in the top of the seventh inning. And Frank Kraska now at the plate.
Well, and you got to expect Weatherholt to break for second base.
And Mason McManus on the mound misses on his first pitch there to Kraska. Ian Edenfield now playing first, Evan Voighton in right, Greg Lancaster in center, Tanner Minio in left, Nate Simkoski back at third, Travis Sankovic now playing short after he pitched to one batter. 1-0 on the way, sent foul on the right side there from Kraska.
Kraska trying to shoot that pitch up and outside to right field. Nice try there, just couldn't put it in play.
Mars looking for a couple of insurance runs. The Mustangs will be down to their final 3 outs in the bottom of the seventh inning. And this one from Kraska hit opposite field to right, and it got by Evan Voighton. Voighton's down. The ball's going to roll all the way back to the wall. Voighton now back up. Kraska rounding second on his way to third. 2 runs have already scored on the play. And it's going to be a triple for Frank Kraska. A 2 RBI triple, and the Planet's now up 4 at 6-2.
Yeah, and that was a tough play there by Voighton. They just switched him over from left field to right field, came in and made the attempt on the ball, and that was one of those ones where you either keep it in front of you, you're going to be doomed for a double or a triple, and he tried to make a diving play, and it just didn't work out, and the ball got past him, and Mars easily scores 2 runs, so we're going to have to give Kraska triple and 2 RBIs on that.
Scoring Roland Fletcher and John Weatherholt, and Laurel Highlands' task now has become a lot tougher going to the bottom half of the seventh inning, now down 4 at 6-2.
And the Mustangs now going to play the infield in, trying to cut off any runs now. Can't afford to give anything else up.
And Jack Anderson at the plate. Laurel Highlands certainly throwing a lot at Mars here. Now a breaking ball for McManus. Misses inside. We were, again, a bit surprised to see Lancaster get pulled out after just yielding the single to Fletcher.
Well, I'd only had him at 61 pitches, so he still had a lot of pitches to go and was still throwing pretty good, but Coach DeBerry decided to pull him.
Until Fletcher scored, Lancaster had worked 8 1/3 of scoreless playoff baseball. And the run scored by Fletcher, his responsibility. The Weatherholt run, the first earned run given up all year by Travis Sankovic.
Right. Pitched to one batter and ends up blowing his ERA up there.
Now McManus is 2-1 here. Hit on the ground to Burns. He'll make the little flip over to Edenfield at first, retire Anderson 4-3. Burns did a good job there to hold Kraska over at third.
Now batting.
Yeah, nice job by Josh.
Number 10, Tyler Kowalski.
Now Tyler Kowalski coming to the plate. Tyler 1 for 3 today.
And he started off that big second inning and where Schultz hit his 3-run homer. Kowalski looking for his 8th RBI of the year here.
With Kraska on third. First pitch for McManus misses for ball 1. And Laurel Highlands has not been to the semifinal round of the WPIAL high school baseball playoff since 1983. In 35 years, they were hoping to break that this year, and this one popped up in Burns' direction from the second base position. Josh will come in and make the grab for the third out of the inning. But the Planets pick up a couple of insurance runs. It's now Mars 6, Laurel Highlands 2. Mustangs down to their final 3 outs, moving to the bottom of the 7th here in the Radcliffe Law Firm High School Sports Day on WMBS, the Turtle Live High School Sports Network and the South Union Township Sports Network.
Fighting Planet 6, Mustangs 2. 2 runs on.
Brian Marozak and Tony Hanola back here at West Mifflin High School, moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Mustangs down 4, and Frank Kraskas at least going to start this inning, Tone, for the Mars Planets.
Well, as we said before, my pitch count's unofficial, but I had him at 95 pitches coming into this inning.
It'll be Richie Mihal, Tanner Minio, and Josh Burns due up for the Mustangs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Designated hitter number 12, Rich Mihal.
Frank Kraska just surrendering 2 runs, 1 in the bottom of the 5th, 1 in the bottom of the 6th. And Mihal swings the first pitch here, a little nubber into shallow center, and a collision. I think the ball dropped.
No, it did not. He kept it. Nice catch.
It was
there.
caught.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice catch there by Michalski.
I thought it might have been dropped when the 2 players collided, Michalski and Weatherholt, but Michalski somehow held on to that one for the first out of the inning. Wow.
And it was a nice play. And there's a situation, too, where Richie swings at the first pitch. And you got 1 out now, and, you're trying to get Krasky's pitch count up to get him out. I'm sure Tanny's going to take a few pitches here. He didn't really like that call, but that was an outside strike.
Counted 0-1. Kraska again working quickly. It's been his mojo throughout the course of the afternoon, missing their outside, even up the count at 1-1. Also have to give a shout-out to another team from Fayette County, the Brownsville Falcons, in the semifinal round of the 3A playoffs, playing Riverside in a semifinal round game this afternoon down at WNJ. Congratulations, Brownsville, on a great season, trying to keep it going and advancing possibly to the championship games if they can pick up a win over the number 1 seed Riverside later on today. Here's a ground ball from Arminio to short. Throw over in time, and the Mustangs now down to their final out. Weatherholt to Hamas in there, 6-3 on the putout.
Well, and I think Kraska is going to get this is going to be his last batter no matter what, at least according to my stats.
Correct. What, 99?
I am at 99, yeah.
So might get that complete game if he's able to retire Burns here.
No, and that's huge, too, because if Mars wins here, which kind of looks that way, to save that bullpen for tomorrow could be key.
He might have Bednar available tomorrow, too, if he's healthy. That's going to be the big key. Again, if you're just joining us, Will Bednar, a last-minute scratch, was scheduled to start today on the mound for the Mars Planets. Was ill, unable to go. That one fouled off by Burns on the Mustangs down to their final strike. Frank Kraska looking for the complete game. Kraska, no slouch either. Lafayette recruits. Tell the Mustangs to only 2 runs here today. Trying to finish off Josh Burns and send the Planets to the semifinal round for the 3rd straight season. This is outside there. Again, Mars played in last year's 5A WPIAL championship game, lost to the eventual state champs, Greater Latrobe.
Right. And I'm sure the Mars faithful are Googling every situation they can, trying to figure out how to cure the flu.
Yeah, whatever
Bednar
Bednar has, try to get him healthy. Here's the 1-2 again outside of Burns.
That's right. Try to do everything they can to get him back in the lineup. It's going to be a tough game tomorrow. He's pitched against Hampton before and beat them. So I don't think he's thrown against Moon, though.
2-2 on the way. Misses outside. Again, the winner here will play either Moon or Hampton in the semifinal round at 4 o'clock tomorrow at North Allegheny High School. And Moon and Hampton will play at NAA at 7 o'clock tonight.
Right.
Here we go. 3-2 pitch to Burns, and Josh fouls it off again. Staying alive. Still 3-2.
In last regular season game, Bednar had beaten Hampton 6-0, throwing a 3-hitter.
3-2 again to Burns. Breaking ball swing and a miss, strike 3. So there you go. A complete game from Frank Kraska and the Mars Planets for the third straight season and advanced to the WPIAL semifinal round. A 6-2 win for Mars over Laurel Highlands. We're back to tell you all about it on the Mamarukas postgame show here on WMBS and the Triple Live High School Sports Network and the South Union Township Sports Network.
North Allegheny.
Things up here, West Mifflin High School, the Laurel Highlands Mustangs falling to the Mars Planets by a score of 6-2. Mars finishing with 6 runs on 10 hits and 1 error. Laurel Highlands 2 runs on 7 hits and an error. And once again, Tony, the Mustangs unable to advance past the WPIAL quarterfinals. We mentioned they've not been in the semifinal round since 1983, and that's going to stay the same way going into the 2019 season.
Well, the Mustangs had a fantastic season, and I know right now they're disappointed, but at one point in time they'll look back and say what a great year they had in section play as well. And just one of those things, they just can't seem to advance, and they just couldn't get the timely hit and just a couple bad breaks as well. Even that ball with that Sankovic had hit that hit the mound and hit the pitcher. I mean, you know, that ball goes into play. Next thing you know, you get another run. You're cutting a deficit down to 1, and it's an entirely different game. But Mustangs, nice job, and I can't say enough about Kraska. He pitched a fantastic game for Mars.
Again, the Mustangs falling 6-2. Again, we mentioned the story coming in. Will Bednar, a last-minute scratch for the Planets. The Ohio State recruit was scheduled to start. Frank Kraska coming on, just yielding those 2 runs to the Laurel Highlands Mustangs. And Mars advances to the semifinal round. They'll take on either Moon or Hampton coming up tomorrow at 4 o'clock at North Allegheny High School. We're back with a final word, both on the radio and the TV side here on the Mamarukas Pizza postgame show on WMBS, the Triple Live High School Sports Network, and the South Union Township Sports Network. Tonight's game was brought to you as a joint cooperative venture featuring Township Supervisors Bob Schiffbauer, Rick Vernon, and Jason Scott, Atlantic Broadband, Armstrong Cable, and our friends at CUTV, Gary Smith and their staff, and Brian Morozak with Tony Hanula and Jerry Dupay. Again, your final score, Mars 6 and Laurel Highlands 2. This has been a South Union Township Sports Network presentation.